show you how to integrate Lever and Calendly, and we'll do an example workflow, which is one of the most commonly requested workflows for Workload. And that is when someone books a meeting in my Calendly, I want to automatically move them to a specific stage in Lever. And that stage is going to be the phone screen stage, just in this example. So what our problem that we're solving is that when someone books on our Calendly link, we don't have any sort of notification into Lever that this meeting is going to happen or has happened or is booked. And so what we're going to do is have a special event in Calendly, a special meeting type, and we'll call it phone screen. And when someone books that meeting, I know it's for a recruiter phone screen. So I'm going to automatically move that person into recruiter phone screen. So when you first sign up with Workload, your account will look similar to this. You'll have a dashboard and your workflows. Just click on Create Workflow, and we'll be taken to a brand new workflow page. And we'll give this a name, and we'll call this Calendly Lever Test. And now we'll have a trigger step and an action step. So this is the very minimum automation you need. Every automation requires a trigger to kick off the workflow, and it needs an action. It needs something to do. So our trigger is going to be Calendly per our example, and our event is going to be an invitee created. That means when someone books. So now we're going to choose our account, and just for this exercise, we'll create a new account. So there we just authenticated our Calendly account and select it. So now what we're doing is we're waiting for someone to book. And so you can simulate this request by going into your own Calendly link and booking a meeting. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's my test Calendly account, and this meeting on your end would say phone screen, and you would only use it when it's time to set up a phone screen with a candidate. So I'll book this meeting for tomorrow at 11 a.m. And my name is Draymond Green, and my email address is draymond23@warriors.com. Let's go. Okay, so we're booked, and now we should see some data come through on the workload side, and here it is. So we have the name of our candidate, and we have our candidate's email address, and then we have a bunch of metadata about the meeting. So let's save and close this. And now the next step is going to be in Lever. We'll use Lever OAuth. It's the most secure integration. And for the action, we're going to search our opportunities. And we're already authenticated, but if you're not yet, then you would hit this blue button here to authorize Workload access to your Lever account. So now we're going to set up the action, and in this email field, we're going to click into it, and you notice this drop down happens. So we click the accordion for the drop down, and now we have access to Draymond's email address. So we'll slide that into the email field. And that's the only bit of information we need right now, because we're simply just looking up a candidate in Lever to see if they exist. And here we go. We have Draymond's information in Lever. So let's save and close this. What we have to do now is add an action step and reach into our tools and go to array functions. And we're going to pick off a key from an array. Our source array to map is going to be this Lever array here of data. So you see the 0 there. So we're going to grab the data, and the property name that we want to extract is going to be the ID. So we want to extract this ID out, because what we need now is the opportunity ID to be isolated so that we can update the stage in Lever. So we're going to test this action. And there we go. We have our new array, and we have this. And then now, one more thing we have to do is reach back into our toolbox, and we need to turn that array into a string by using the list to string. It's a list of just one item. So that's just kind of, sometimes you run into these when you work with various APIs. Each API is slightly different, but the good news is that Workload has the ability to handle almost any API. So we'll slide that in there. We're going to test this action, and now we should get the isolated string for Draymond's ID. We're going to kind of slide this workflow up. Now, this is where the magic will happen. We're going to search for Lever again, go to the OAuth, it's more secure, and we're going to update opportunity stage. We'll use our Workload Lever account. We're going to set up this action. This only has 3 fields you need. So the first thing we're going to do is look for that opportunity ID that's formatted in the exact way that Lever needs it. So here we have our string. Drop that in there. Stage ID, we pre-populated all the stage IDs from each individual account. So here's mine, it's called phone screen. We're going to throw it in there. Perform as, you can leave that as blank. And we're going to test this action. Click on that. And there we go. We have some nice output data here. So what we should do now is check our Lever account and see, here's Draymond. Right here, if I refresh this, you'll see that one person should be moved into the phone screen interview. There we go. Draymond, phone screen. Now all you need to do is turn on the workflow, and every time someone books in Calendly, it'll update a stage in Lever.